Hi everyone, we're going to do some database activities now. You can see I've got a sample database here. It's a sales database, and so it has tables which have orders in it and products and product names and sales or sales regions, and then it has queries where we can query to find the sales by category or the sales by quarter or the sales by a particular region. And so when I run, for example, the sales by region, it shows me all of the regions that are available and the gross sales and the net sales, so how many sales were actually made in each region. When I run the sales by quarter, then that's able to run against the database and show me for the different quarters how many sales were actually made. And if I run the query for sales by category, that's able to run across the categories table and show the total sales across each category. If I go into my order details table, you can see that there's sales IDs, order IDs, and then each ID has a date as well as what was actually purchased that day, and those tables are all linked together. If we have a look at the database tools and have a look at our relationships, you can see that tables are linked to, products are linked to orders, orders are linked to a sales region, and products are also linked towards the category or to the category over here. So this is very similar to the databases that you've been producing. So the requirements for the user in this case would be that they're able to query for sales by category, sales by quarter, and sales by region. And you can see that there's also reports that are based on that. So remembering that the reports are the printouts or the paper sheets that you would then give. And so these are the reports you'd link. Now we need to add navigation to this page. So in order to add navigation, the first thing you need to do is go to the Create tab and then choose Navigation. You get to choose the navigation that you would like, and we don't want to show the user all of this extra detail about the tables where the data is stored or the queries that are being produced. We just want to show them the three reports that we're going to produce in this case. So I'm going to run some navigation with a horizontal tab, and then I simply grab the report and I drag it up and drop it on my tab, and that's going to create for me a tab which shows the sales by product category. For the sales by quarter, I'll repeat, just drag and drop onto my tab, and that's going to give me navigation for the sales by quarter, and then the total sales by region I'm going to grab and drag and drop, and that's going to give me the total sales by region tab. And so we're then able to navigate between those three reports just using the simple navigation tabs across the top. Now what we want to do is set up our database so that it actually starts by loading that navigation form. So I'm going to close all of my forms, save any changes that I've made, and give it a name, navigation form. And so I've now got a navigation form here, and by going into File and going into the details of that database, by going to Options, you're then able to click Current Database. You can see it's got a application title, the monthly sales report, and then it's choosing what to actually display as the form when we start up. So I just simply go to the current database, the display form, and choose the navigation form, which is this one here, as the option that I want to actually open when the database opens. You can see if I scroll down a bit, we can also choose to get rid of the navigation pane. And so that means that when we open our database, rather than showing all of the extra details, it's just going to open with that report. So let's close and save our details there. So I'll close the database, and then I'm simply going to open the database again, which I've actually now saved into my documents. And when the database opens for the second time, you'll see that rather than opening with all of the navigation items showing the tables and the queries, it's just opening straight up with the navigation form ready for us to navigate around the database. Now there are also extra options in here where you can hide the top navigation bar, and if you're wanting to add a password, you need to open this database so that it's excuse me, so that it's single user. So I'm going to close the database altogether in order to open it single user, and we're going to open access, and then you can see that when we get the get to access, we can choose to open, and we're going to browse and find our computer. Browse and find our monthly sales report. And when you go in here, you can choose to open it exclusively, and so that means that no one else is able to edit the database at the same time as yourself, which means the data won't change. When you open it exclusively, you're the only person having access to the database, and so that means that you can add encryption and you can add other options. So I've gone into the file menu, and then I've gone to the info options, and you can see there's an option here to now encrypt my database with a password. I simply enter in my password and verify it, say OK, encrypting, that's fine, say OK to any messages that come up, save your database and close, and when we reopen our database, you'll see this time opening it, it's not going to open if I get the password wrong. However, it's going to prompt me for the password, and when I get it right, my database is going to open with the navigation ready to go. And so that way we've now secured our database a bit more because we've reduced the available options to the users.